Coming up, we've got the latest on an arrest made in a string of shootings targeting homeless people in both Washington, D.C. and New York City.
We stay mild this evening, but also timing out where we could see some showers.
And we talk to the actress who just made history, starring in Broadway's longest-running musical. Hey, what's up? This is News 4 Now for Tuesday, March 15th. I'm Kay Ingram. Now, there's been an arrest in the recent attacks on homeless men in Manhattan and Washington, D.C. Police say the suspect was cuffed earlier this morning in D.C. A senior law enforcement source has identified him as 30-year-old Gerald Brevard. He's suspected of shooting 3 homeless men in D.C. and 2 more here in Manhattan. 2 of those 5 victims did not survive. We're told he was not carrying a gun on him when he was taken into custody earlier today. Also new, the man wanted for stabbing 2 workers at the Museum of Modern Art was found and taken into custody in Philadelphia. Police say 60-year-old Gary Cabana was found sleeping on a bench at a Greyhound bus station. Philadelphia cops had been looking for him in connection with a fire yesterday at a Best Western hotel.
He was actually asleep on a bench inside the Greyhound terminal. Police took him into custody, woke him up. The individual did not resist, did not fight, was taken into custody, and he's been transported to Central Detectives.
TBD on when he'll be brought back to New York. Next, Newark police opened fire on a car with 2 people inside after investigators say an officer was struck by the driver. 1 person inside the car was shot and wounded after the officer was hit. Investigators say the car was stolen.
Most of the cars that are being stolen, 70% or more of these cars are being stolen because the cars are left running. For the most often, the cars are used to commit another crime after they're stolen.
The steal went down last night in Asbury Park. It was then driven to Newark and parked behind a house. A person who lived in the house saw the strange car behind his house and called police. Now, there's a one-of-a-kind way to honor the heroes of 9/11 that's returning to New York City this spring. 1,000 participants will lace up their shoes for the 6th annual Tunnel to Towers Foundation Tower Climb on June 5th. The event is coming back after a 2-year hiatus. Runners will climb about 2,000 steps up to the 104th floor of One World Trade Center. The climb raises money to help pay off mortgages for injured veterans and families of fallen first responders, as well as help with tuition for children of New York City firefighters.
Hi there, I'm Storm Team 4 meteorologist Maria LaRosa. As we head into the evening, still hanging on to the mild temperatures, so still into the 50s well into the late evening hours, although we'll have a little bit more in the way of cloud cover. Temperatures only slowly falling off into the 40s. We do have that cloud cover for some of us, even a few rain showers. You can see late evening, 9, 10 o'clock through the Hudson Valley, northern New Jersey, mainly north of the city, and then into Long Island and Connecticut. But after midnight, in fact, toward tomorrow morning before sunrise, most areas, those skies will be clearing. So we're headed for another mostly sunny start to the day tomorrow. We've got 44 degrees for the low. After some of those showers to the north, we'll dip down into the 40s from White Plains, mid and upper 30s, Poughkeepsie and Sussex, and we'll stay in the 30s and the 40s from Long Island and down the shore.
Last month, Phantom celebrated its 34th year on Broadway. It's Great White Way's longest-running musical, but it also marked another milestone by debuting the first African-American actress to play the part of Christine.
After 34 years, Broadway's longest-running show is making history once more with the casting of Emily Quachu, the Phantom of the Opera's first black leading lady.
Emily, thank you so much for having me in your dressing room.
I know, welcome. Early in the morning here at the Majestic.
I got to see you last night playing Christine in the Phantom of the Opera.
Not many people can say that they've made history. Now you've opened a door for a lot of little girls, you know, like they're gonna look to you and say, I could do that. Have you heard from any fans?
Yeah, I get a message every now and then. I appreciate the ones from Black girls like across the country who haven't even seen the show, who are just like, you just like being in the spotlight right now is like inspiring me on like my theater journey or whatever journey they're on. And so I really appreciate all of those messages.
Your official opening night coincided with the 34th anniversary of Phantom of the Opera on Broadway. I was also reading that they did make some changes specifically for you.
Yeah. So there were some changes made in London that they kind of brought over here. Like, there's a moment before where they said, your skin, Christine, it's white. And obviously, you know, that wouldn't work for me. And so they changed that in London to just make it more broad and make it so that anyone can play Christine, which I really love.
Can we leave everybody with, if there is one thing that they should know about the Phantom of the Opera, this show right now, what would it be?
It's changed. The show now is different than it ever was before. And I think audiences appreciate that. So.
Here's to history and
Yes.
here's to opening doors.
Yes, of course.
Kicking them down.
Hey, yes.
Bayonne, New Jersey is protesting Russia's war in Ukraine by changing a 9/11 memorial that was a gift from Russia. The September 11th teardrop memorial was dedicated by Russian President Putin. His name was displayed prominently on it until today. News 4's Brian Thompson is here with the exclusive.
Russian President Vladimir Putin saw this site 17 years ago as he joined local and state officials in laying the cornerstone for this memorial. But now, of course, with the invasion of Ukraine, Putin has clearly worn out that welcome. Putin's name is in both English and in Russian Cyrillic, including his signature, except after today at this teardrop 9/11 memorial on the edge of New York Harbor, Putin's name is no more. Bayonne DPW Director Tom Cotter covering every trace of Putin's name on this memorial stone, and after climbing a ladder, doing the same to a bronze plaque at its base that acknowledges this gift from the Russian people and Putin himself. Doing this work brought a sense of satisfaction.
Basically, what's happening in the Ukraine right now is, to me, in my opinion, all right, is like a form of terrorism. They're invading that country.
Nearly a dozen Bayonne residents died in the attacks on the World Trade Center's Twin Towers 21 years ago, their names standing on columns like guardians in front of the memorial. Putin came here to lay the cornerstone 17 years ago, here with then Mayor Joe Doria in front of the model then. And while Putin's name has disappeared, this memorial will not.
I don't ever want to hear someone say that this monument has to come down because they're going to go through me to take this monument down.
This past week, Bayonne residents, many of them of Ukrainian descent, donated 3 containers of goods to ship to refugees in Poland. Today's action to erase Putin's name actually started in the days right after the invasion, as a removal of this gaffer's tape shows, in order to put something more permanent in place. As for Putin's visit, the mayor, as a police captain back then, who was there, told me,
In my opinion, it was probably the coldest human being I've ever met in my life.
permanent erasure of Putin's name will come after officials find out the best way to do so without damaging either the memorial stone or the bronze plaque on the memorial itself. In Bayonne, Brian Thompson, News 4 New York.
All right, friends, thanks for joining us. We'll see you back here tomorrow.